Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to race 9 of the 2005 season. We're here at Martinsville, the tough short track here, the paperclip, if you will. We got 125 laps here today. Should be a good one. Hopefully, these drivers are not as aggressive as Bristol. Hopefully, we can get some green flag laps in. Let's go over the practice times and happy hours. See who's fast. Brian Vickers topped the practice times, followed by his teammate Casey Kane. Sadler looked pretty quick. Time to take a scroll. You see Terry Labonte's back in the field. We'll talk about him later on. Kind of scroll, see where your favorite driver's at. And look, qualifying Casey Kane and Ward Burton were found with chassis infractions, so they're starting from the back. We'll talk about who failed to qualify for the race as well, and the weekend recap. Labonte started 19th there, and then happy hour. But yeah, there we go. So, three drivers failed to qualify for this race. David Starr, Kyle Petty made it into the race, but Ted Musgrave, Jimmy Spencer, Todd Bodine all failed to qualify for this race today. And then as we transition straight into the weekend recap, on the left in the ARCA race, Kyle Krisiloff in the 7-1, and on the right, Ted Musgrave beat John Wood after John Wood won 6 straight truck races. John Wood finished second, um, which is pretty remarkable. And then real quick, before we talk about Terry Labonte and talk about this race, we're going to talk about the All-Star race. The All-Star race will be, I think, because we'll go to Richmond next week, and then we'll go to the All-Star race. And so on the left it will be your All-Star winners in the last 5 years, plus your All-Star Open, and then race winners from 2004 and 2005 will be on your right. But all drivers from 2005, all drivers who won in 2005 have already locked themselves into the All-Star race. So Junior, Gordon, Newman, Kenseth Harvick are your last 5 All-Star winners. Whoever wins the All-Star Open will also, I don't know why it says 2004, it should say 2005, I'll fix that. And then Greg Biffle, Labonte, Casey Atwood, Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Burton, Casey Mears, Jerry Mayfield, and Brian Vickers have all won a race in 2004. And if somebody not named one of those drivers either wins today or next week, they will be in the All-Star race. But that's in the future. Right now we got now, and right now we got Jimmy Johnson on pole, starting his outside with Matt Kenseth. And yeah, I guess we'll get the starting lineup here.
Drivers, to your cars.
There's the drivers are being called to their cars. Um, yeah, so that was weird. We got Ward Burton starting pretty much last. Case Kane to his inside. We got David starting the 78 for Furniture Row Motorsports, a brand new team. And then with his outside Ken Walls, we got Ken Schrader, Dave Blaney, Jerry Nadeau to his inside, Mike Skinner. Then we got Buckshot Jones, Sterling Marlin. Then we got Steve Park in the 1, Jack Sprague in the 10. We got Kyle Petty to his inside, rookie Travis Quapple. We got Bill Elliott to his outside, John Andretti. Michael Waltrip, Robbie Gordon. Then we got Ricky Rudd, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Green, Jerry Mayfield. There's Terry Labonte. So glad to see him back at the track and recovering. There's Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman to his outside, Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., McMurray, Casey Mears. There's Carl Edwards to his outside, Greg Biffle, Bob Labonte, Tony Stewart. And then we got Elliott Sadler starting 8th, Jeff Burton starting 7th, starting 5th will be Casey Atwood, 6th will be Brian Vickers, Coy Gibbs, another great start, starting 4th, Mark Martin will be 3rd, and Johnson and Kenseth round out your front row. So yeah, we got 125 laps here, like I mentioned before. We got Casey Kane, Ward Burton. They were all minor infractions, not major infractions. Nobody will have to do a pass-through penalty. It was just the end of the lines. They will have to start from the back. But without further ado, let's send it down trackside and get the command to fire engines. Alright, without further ado, let's send it down trackside and get the command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
There's the command. See the engines being fired. Pace cars rolling. These cars are rolling. The pace car is getting ready to make that left-hand turn. It has made that left-hand turn. These cars and drivers, round 3 and 4. Green flag is out and we're racing for Martinsville. These guys are rocking off turn 2, go down the backstretch into turn 3. It's a very unique racetrack. You basically run down the front straightaway as fast as you can. You stomp on the brakes, do a U-turn, and run down the backstretch as fast as you can, stop, U-turn, and you do that for 125 laps. The brakes are going to get a workout today. The drivers are going to get a workout. There's going to be some time, like, Elliott Sadler, you do not want to be on the outside. See if he can get to the inside, or will Biffle make the inside? Can he make that dive to the inside? He will. And as a driver, that's frustrating because you're just bleeding spots. You're caught outside, and you just gotta remain calm, cool. Can't get frustrated. Can't lose focus. And you just gotta, as a driver, you just gotta keep calm, keep cool. Corey Gibbs right there misses the bottom, slides up a bit. Yeah, back here, Warbird and Casey K not making much ground so far. Your point leader, Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, it's gonna be really tough to beat this 48 team. I mean, they dominated, what was that, Texas? And then they dominated, or was it Atlanta too? They probably dominated both, to be honest. California is the one I'm mainly talking about. They absolutely dominated California, but made an aggressive strategy call that they did not need to make, and it cost him, and he finished 34th. And he's still the point leader. He is dominating races, up front leading right now, coming to 119 laps remaining this time by. He's just wrapping the bottom, doing what he needs to do right now. But Mark Martin, keeping him honest. So far, Mark Martin has run the quickest lap of the race. That was last lap. About a tenth quicker. Now Tony Stewart's passing Casey Mears back here. See, Elliott Sadler did get to the bottom. Now Junior getting passed by Edwards. Jeff Gordon to the inside of Kurt Busch. Now right here, Kurt Busch, you just gotta kind of just take your medicine. Just lift, get behind Gordon before Newman can fill that spot, and you lose another spot. Can he get down here? Not right now. Jeff Gordon's looking to get to the inside of Edwards. Edwards has to kind of... They were kind of going for the same spot there. Edwards slides up. Newman's going to go to the inside of Kurt Busch now. But with the outside line, you kind of can get a run around the outside. Being able to get... Oh, Harvick to the back end of Ryan Newman. That nearly is going to put him 3 wide. Mears has to lift. That's what's going to happen too. Drivers are going to give you the old bump and run. And you just kind of have to expect it with a short track racing. I mean, we saw that a ton at Bristol. These drivers did a great job, resetting. This is the first time Terry Labonte's back in a car. He's going 3 wide to the inside of Jeff Green and McMurray. McMurray's able to accelerate first. Is able to clear them both going off into turn 1. Now Ricky Rudd's looking to the inside of Green, back behind Labonte. But Labonte, this is the first time he's back in a car. Racing with Hendrick. Got cornflakes on the hood of that car. Kind of like a retro feel. Like Joe Nemechek's been in this car pretty recently. Really good to see Terry Labonte back. Remember he fractured his arm, broke a couple ribs in Daytona. after getting T-boned and put up into the catch vents. He says he feels better. He was cleared last week to run Talladega. He did not want to run Talladega, risk injury. But he's back here at Martinsville, and so far running pretty good, just outside the top 20. Casey Mears Vickers battling for 7th there. The 9 car, Bill Elliott, looks like he's blowing an engine down here. No caution. Sterling Marlin's got an issue. Looks like they were able to get it off track. Sadler now has got an issue way down on the bottom. I mean, a huge moment right there for Sadler. I'm not sure if there's oil on the track or not. NASCAR's going to go ahead and throw a yellow. They believe there is oil down there in turn 1 and 2. They're getting in there. See, these guys are all off the bottom. Just, yeah, they got to do some cleanup down here. Meanwhile, we got a battle for 10th, and so can Gordon get Labonte? At the line, what is this for 11th? Gordon does get Labonte. Let's see if we can get a replay here of what happened. Here's Bill Elliott. Was in front of rookie Travis Quapple. Just kind of hangs a left. See something kind of flopping there in the left front. I think that was suspension damage of some variety. And then the 40 blows up getting off into turn 1. And the 9 clips the curb. And then you see the fluid coming out from under the car. A couple engines expiring right there. And then down in here, Elliott Sadler, I think, just kind of slipped in the oil. And right there, clipped the curb and had no grip, slid up. Kurt Busch nearly ran him over. But as we jump to live here, we got pit stops. Oh no. Jimmy Johnson, Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth missed pit road. Oh my gosh, that is huge. They're going to pit, but they're going to cycle behind everybody. Oh no. So, Jeff Burton is going to be your leader. Most likely, if they can, because they're going to be able to hustle back around when everybody else is pitting. But I guess we'll see what happens here. We'll see where the pace car is at and where they pick them up. Because there's Jimmy Johnson there. Mark Martin, have they even pitted yet? I don't think. Yeah, Mark Martin can't get to the pits because the cars are trying to leave. There goes Mark Martin. He's finally able to get it in. Matt Kenseth. Oh my gosh. That is horrible timing. That is not what you were looking for. There's Casey Kane there on the left. Johnson's down and away. There's the pace car. Matt Kenseth gets out and away. And Mark Martin is still... service is being done on that car. But now all these guys, they have pitted. And for some reason, these guys kind of get trapped in this thing right here. And they are really bunched up through the corners when they pace. But I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of wave rounds here, so we will be back once we go green. Alright, so I wasn't able to get everybody waved, but your leader will be Jeff Burton way back here, Coy Gibbs. And now, yeah, lap traffic right here because of that yellow came out such in a goofy spot. But now Casey Kane has front end damage, I'm assuming, just from a stack up on a restart, or pacing. So now he's going to have damage on the front end of that car, but now all these guys, they're going to be on the edge of going a lap down, so they're going to be super aggressive trying to hold off the leaders and pass each other. Yeah, right there, that was a very untimely caution, the spot for it. I tried timing it up, didn't do a very good job, but Mark Martin ended up losing a lap, couldn't pit. Matt Kenseth is back here in 22nd now, Johnson's 20th. And I believe Casey Kane is still in the pits. I could be wrong, though. Where is Casey Kane currently at? I don't even know what happened to Casey. I imagine they just checked up going into the corner there after missing the hood on the 5. Meanwhile, there's Jeff Burton, goes to the inside of the 10. He's got to slide up right in front of Ricky Rudd. Great save there from Jack Sprague. That could have ended poorly. As Burton's just trying to wrap the bottom. Now he's into the inside of Michael Waltrip. Next up for Burton is Kyle Petty. Now the 5 is 2 laps down, the 6, the 49, the 92, all the way up to the 15 is 1 lap down. Jeff Gordon sitting 5th, having a great day. Carl Edwards. If you're a rookie and you can run top 10 Martinsville, that's a pretty successful day in my opinion. Terry Labonte's up to 15th now. He's rolling good in that 44 car. So we'll have to see how our leaders are faring in this lap traffic. Burton has seemed to be pulling away from Tony Stewart. Kyle Petty's now in the free pass position. Burton's going to hang a left there on Andretti to complete the pass. Next up is Jeff Green. Kenny Wallace going to look to the inside of Nadeau in front of the leaders. That's going to put Nadeau in a really tough spot. Jeff Green misses the bottom. Burton's going to throw it up the inside. Yeah, I mean, so when you're talking about Roush, right, currently they have 6 full-time cars. They got the 6, the 16, the 17, the 54, 97, 99. That is Mark Martin, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, and Jeff Burton, your current leader. Burton also won Rockingham. But next season, NASCAR is seeing all these teams spend all this money, and they're trying to put a limit on how much money they spend. So they are capping the fields or the teams with 4 full-time teams. They can run a 5th car, but it has to be part-time. It can't run all the races. So what that has done for Roush is essentially they've put into a box Matt Kenseth but NASCAR told the teams in advance, but Matt Kenseth and Mark Martin are under contract through 2006. So between Jeff Burton, Kurt Busch, Carl Edwards, and Greg Biffle, those 4 drivers are going to be fighting for 2 spots. And you also have Kyle Busch in the Busch Series. I mean, I think he's 2nd in the points. He has a win, 1 at Talladega. He's going to be really fast. He's going to be a force to reckon with in this sport at some point in his career. I think John Wood has had a ton of development in the trucks, and obviously he's super dominant down there now. Could he be a possible, prospect for Roush? Who knows? But I think Jeff Burton, he's a little older, but I think his ceiling in the next 4, let's talk about the next 4 seasons, right? 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, next 4 seasons. I think Jeff Burton, his ceiling each year could be 6+ wins. 5+ for sure. We'll just call it 5+ wins. But you come back, I mean, he's running 3rd currently, but Greg Biffle, I think his ceiling, 2 wins, 3, no, we'll say his ceiling will be 4 wins, 3.5, somewhere around there, 3-4 wins. I think he has more speed. We'll call it 4 wins. I think Biffle can get you 4 wins. His floor, though, I think will be 1 win. And then you talk about another driver, Kurt Busch, currently running 3rd in the standings. I think his ceiling's lower than Biffle. I think, I don't think he has the speed Biffle does, just raw race-winning speed, I think Biffle's a little better in that category. You know, Biffle's ceiling, say, is 4 wins in the next, a season for the next 4 seasons. I'd say Kurt Busch is 3. And then his floor, Biffle's floor, is maybe a win. I'd say Kurt Busch's floor is no wins. But I think Kurt Busch is a better race manager than Biffle. I think Kurt Busch, you put him in a rhythm, and I think he gets more top 10s, more top 5s than Greg Biffle does. I think he turns the 12th places into top 10s, the 7th places into top 5s. But, you know, and then with Carl Edwards, I mean, he's sitting 5th right now as a rookie at Martinsville. I mean, that is just pure raw talent. It's really hard to come by, and he's challenging Elliott Sadler there for 4. I mean, how do you pass up on this guy? I don't know if you can let this guy walk and say you want to develop Carl Edwards, right? I know Yates. I know those guys have a tight alliance. If you want to put Edwards in maybe that 38 car next season, but who's to say Edwards goes out there and has a great season and RCR, Hendrick, Gibbs maybe, they go out and pick him up. Now he's no longer an option for Roush. You know, there's just a lot of things to discuss. And then when you're talking about Jeff Burton, I mean, right now, Burton is probably one of the best drivers not under the Hendrick Motorsports banner who can go out there and win races. And I don't know if you can let that walk out your front door. And then, so you got Burton, who can win now. You got Carl Edwards, unbelievable talent. And then you got Greg Biffle and Kurt Busch, who have a ton of potential, and that are fast now. I mean, Biffle's running 3rd, and you're talking about cutting a guy. Jeff Burton's winning, and you're talking about cutting the guy. I mean, 3 out of the top 5 drivers are fighting for 2 spots, and the 4th guy, Kurt Busch, is running 12th. It's not going to be a good situation either way. And I think the difference between Roush, they can go out there and win on any given weekend. But say like a Yates car back here, I think Sadler's getting a lot out of this car right now. We'd look at his teammate run 20th. You know, if you go out there and run a Yates car, I don't think you're going to be able to turn those. You know, I think Kurt Busch could turn, say like Dale Jarrett's run back here. I think he could make it like a top 15 run. But I don't know, it's a very tough situation. But what's cool to see right now, though, is Terry and Bobby Labonte battling side by side. That's pretty neat. And Jimmy Johnson, remember, he was dominating this race, got messed up by that yellow. Now he's stuck up top, losing the track position. And now the best one on their strategy is Matt Kenseth, sitting 14th. Vickers sitting there at 13th. Casey Mears is having a great day. So is Junior. Junior needs a good day after the season he has had. And speaking of tough seasons, I believe we're under a yellow here. I was going to talk about Sterling Marlin. After losing an engine, we got a battle for the lead here. Tony Stewart's going up the inside. At the line, new leader Tony Stewart. Alright, what happened to bring out this yellow? Looks like it's 0-1 there. Mike Skinner has damage. He's running 23rd, 1 lap ago. Coming off 2. Oh, they're already checking up. Oh, gets into Mayfield, Steve Park. What happened to Mayfield? Right behind Dale Jarrett. Looks like he just had a tire go down. Yeah, left rear is flat, as you can see it. Yeah, the car just couldn't steer. And that's what caught everybody up. I mean, the 78 got caught up in the fence, trying to avoid, and Jeff Burton had nowhere to go, and that allowed Tony Stewart to get to the inside, and that will give Stewart the lead. I believe Ward Burton will get the wave around, the lucky dog next time by, but we'll see when we go back green. We'll be right back. Alright, as we come off turn 4 here, Jeff Burton will be your leader. Um, yeah, there's Dale Jarrett there. He's a lap down. He's kind of caught up behind there of Jeff Burton. And Jeff Burton's able to get down to the bottom, which will be huge. Stewart's trying to look 3 wide on Jarrett. Unable to get to the inside there. Now Jarrett's going to be able to get to the bottom, trying to get his lap back. Off of turn 4, Jeff Burton's going to lead lap 50. Yeah, again, that yellow kind of came out in a goofy spot. Because now it's only 17 cars are on the lead lap. Mayfield, Case Kane 2 laps down. Ward Burton's 3 laps down. There goes Tony Stewart's trying to make his way forward. Trying to catch back up to the leader. Burton had a better pit stop. As look out, Jeff Gordon's now coming out of the pits. That's going to log jam the inside for a minute. Elliott Sadler's running 3rd. Greg Biffle's 4th. 5th belongs to Kevin Harvick. He's having a great day. There's Carl Edwards in 6th. Coy Gibbs and Newman battling for 7th and 8th. Matt Kenseth has found his way back into the top 10 after a tough early pit stall cycle strategy thing. I forgot what I was going to say, but they were going to go 3 wide for a minute, but they settle it out. You know, Tony Stewart, he's been working his way through the field. That 20 car seems to be having a good little run, and he needed it. Last season was pretty underwhelming. He had a tough go. But now he's, you know, Jeff Gordon's going to try and get try to get his lap back. I think he's only 1 down. Wonder how aggressive do you get here to try and get around the 99. There goes Jeff Burton looking to the inside of Andretti to put him another lap down. And Tony Stewart, how aggressive are you with, say, Jeff Gordon? Tony Stewart slips up, misses the bottom. That's not what you're looking for. And now Stewart's going to get to the inside of Andretti. There's Ward Burton following Robbie Gordon around. Now Andretti really misses the bottom. Now the 25 is in the pits. I'm not sure what's going on there with them. Casey Atwood getting down there to the inside. Jamie McMurray's running 20th. Now there's only 15 cars in the lead lap. And right here, Robbie Gordon and Ward Burton are kind of stacking up Jeff Burton. Here we got Ward Burton, Jeff Burton, and Jeff Gordon. And we also got Robbie Gordon. We got 2 Jeffs and 2 Gordons. And Ward Burton and Jeff Gordon are getting taken 3 wide by Tony Stewart. Jeff Burton says, yeah, I'm just going to tuck in right here. They're able to clear Tony Stewart. Now Jeff Gordon's looking to get his lap back. Throws it up the inside of Burton. Burton's up top now. A couple Burtons are up top. And now Tony Stewart's lined up behind Jeff. That's Jeff Gordon. Gordon's going to throw it up the inside again. Real aggressive is Labonte. Terry Labonte's in the pits. He's saying he has a tire down. No, not what you're looking for. Man, he's looking to hopefully rebound. Trying to maybe catch a yellow here. But meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead. Tony Stewart's trying to get around Jeff Burton. Burton tries to get behind Gordon. And they're going to draw even coming off of 4. Tony Stewart's trying to get to the inside of Jeff Burton. Looks like they're going to clear Labonte on the exit of the corner. So that won't be an issue. As these guys are battling side by side off into turn 3. Now Robbie Gordon's going to get the 99 checked up top. Tony Stewart is there, and Tony Stewart is your new leader. I believe we're halfway this time by. Off of turn 2, new leader Tony Stewart is now. Jeff Burton's going to tuck in behind him, hopefully trying to get a run to get back by around the 20. Robbie Gordon's having a pretty tough time in the 2, sitting 35th. That 2 car had Rusty Wallace in it, then it had Steve Park in it, now it has Robbie Gordon in it. And they're just looking for the right combination to put in that 2 car to result speed. Just having a tough time finding it. He's going to drift up. Burton's going to clear. And Tony Stewart's running away with the lead a little bit. As we'll take a wider scope there. There's Brian Vickers running 33rd. Tough day for him. Jack Sprague 32nd. There's Jimmy Johnson on the tail end of the lead lap, 14th. Buckshot Jones 30th. There's Mark Martin. Dale Jr. behind his teammate, but not in the running order. Bobby Labonte sitting 12th. Kurt Busch 10th. Casey Mears running around 10th pretty much all day. There's Coy Gibbs. Ryan Newman. Look at this battle right here. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, I believe. With Carl Edwards 5th. And then 4th is way up here. Sadler and Greg Biffle battling for 3rd. There goes Sadler's going to get to the inside of his teammate, tucking behind Park. Ooh, Park on a nudge there from Dale Jarrett. Sadler's thinking 3 wide just to get them both done and out of the way. That is not for position. Park is multiple laps down. Jarrett's at least 1. Park, Biffle, Jarrett, they all trade paint down the front stretch. They're still 3 wide. Jarrett way up top. This is now Biffle's going to try and... Is he clear of Park? He is. He's going to... Dale Jarrett actually had a really good run out of the corner. Was able to clear Biffle. That'll put a car between 3rd and 4th. Is now Tony Stewart has about a half a second lead over 2nd. Terry Labonte's now 36th. And Newman's going to slam it down into the turn. Kenseth way up top. Not as much grip as you'd like. Kevin Harvick running 6th. He's having a great day. Now it's 36 of a second between the lead and 2nd place. We got rookie Coy Gibbs. He's having a good day again. If a rookie can have a good day at Martinsville, that's usually a pretty good telltale sign. Biffle's still behind Jarrett. Jarrett, that 88 car is still pretty quick. Coming up on Robbie Gordon here, that will probably decide who gets by who. Is now Jarrett's going to get back up the inside of Sadler. That's going to allow Biffle. Does Biffle make the move to the inside of Sadler and follow Jarrett through? Off the corner of the Yates car, side by side, Biffle. Try and look to the inside there. Nothing doing yet. They're still side by side with the Yates bunch. Yeah, meanwhile, back up front is, of course, when I go, now they're battling for 3rd. But Burton is making a little bit of a run here at Tony Stewart. Is now Harvick's back to 7th. He got passed by Newman that last lap. They were pretty much close right there in times. He's catching Jeff Gordon there. Well, look at this bunch right here. Kevin Harvick's starting to slip back and looks like he's caught behind the 0-1. Casey Mears looks like he's next man up, and Kevin Harvick has had enough of the 0-1. Mike Skinner, remember, he was a ping pong ball in Bristol. I don't know if I was Casey Mears. I don't know if I would like that too much. Casey Mears is showing more maturity than I was. Than I have. If I was right there, I wouldn't break, and I'd send Skinner up into Harvick. But you gotta understand, Kevin Harvick's frustration is, I mean, look at this battle. They are 3 wide for like 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Kevin Harvick's in 8th. And they're still 3 wide, 2 Roush cars, Chip Ganassi in the inside. 0.2 of a second separate first and second, as these guys are 3 wide still. Harvick is clear as Skinner. Yeah, it's like the inside line, they don't have the tires to really get the power down on the exit. So it's almost fairly equal. But they were able to figure it out, and now Sadler got around Biffle. Biffle's going to get to the inside of Robbie Gordon there. As now these guys are catching lap traffic here. Jeff Burton is all over the back end of Tony Stewart. I mean, look, where do you go? Yeah, Brian Vickers has a ton of potential to get a lot of points and a lot of spots right here. Which, yeah, this is the kind of runs you need right here. Turn those 35ths into 25ths. Try and win a championship. Now, the last 2 cars in this major pack of probably about a dozen cars or so of this lap traffic are the leaders. As Tony Stewart's going to get to the inside of Sprague. Now Burton's down there. Ricky Rudd is next. Tony Stewart missed the bottom right there. That's going to allow Jeff Burton to get to the inside. Now he's going to get caught behind Ricky Rudd. Can he get down in front of the 99? He can. Again, I just think these rear tires, they just don't have the grip that they need to really roll the bottom and exit good. But turn 4, a win for Tony Stewart and Joe Gibbs Racing would mean a lot. Joe Gibbs has really turned the wick up this season. They've been really strong, really fast, nearly 3 wide. Stewart's going to get to the inside of Gordon. I believe that's David Starr, Truck Series regular up top. The Busch Series was off this week, so it was just the trucks. The ARCA cars were also here. Talk about Kyle Krisiloff winning the race. Now Tony Stewart's all over the back end of Jeff Gordon. He's going to look for a way around at some point, but they're going to have to negotiate Kyle Petty. Tony Stewart's looking maybe for an arc into the corner, try and help his exit off. Now he draws even with Kyle Petty down the back, or down the front, excuse me. Yeah, Tony Stewart's been kind of doing that, trying to get an angle into the corner, maybe to help rotation. Jeff Gordon, how does he get around Jerry Nadeau, Ken Schrader? Is Brian Vickers there giving the bump to Junior? He wants, he sees all these spots all the way up to Mike Skinner right there with 22nd. It's a lot of points right there on the line there for Brian Vickers if he can get around. He knows Johnson. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, all things considered, is sitting 12th, which is not a bad points day for that bunch. considering all that had happened. Now, Jeff Burton's keeping Stewart honest. He's not letting him get away. Yeah, Tony Stewart's unable to do that arc if there's a car to the outside. But he's been able to time it up pretty good. Oh no, the 41! Casey Mears on the inside. Smoking. These guys all slide up the track. Yellow is out. Caution is out. We'll have to see. I think everything cycles pretty neat. Pretty nice. Looks like Casey Mears will get the wave around. Hopefully next time, as long as everything goes to plan, how it should be. We'll have to see where the pace car picks everybody up. Tony Stewart has to check up for the pace car. Here comes the pace car. Pace car hit the inside wall. Is pit road open this time? Pit road is open this time. The leaders, I believe, are okay. They're after that stack up and crash. I see the advantage between the 20, the 99. There's the 38, the 16, the 54. But, yeah, we will get everything situated and sorted, and we'll be right back. Here we come off of turn 4. I'm not sure what's going on there, but there's a massive checkup as the leaders get away. Top 4 get clear. Jeff Gordon had an incident on the pace lap and ended up tearing the front end off his car. Now Johnson hits pit road. Tony Stewart was able to beat Jeff Burton off pit road. This time by will be 30 laps to go, 15 miles to the finish. There's only 8 cars are now in the lead lap. Just the way that everything paces, and being in that top 5, top 10 is really a big advantage. But try and be successful. Now Kevin Harvick's there is exiting the pits. Same thing with the 48. Now we know right there the 48 is fast. If he can get around Sadler, Biffle can maybe follow him through. Now Junior's in the pits. I think they tried staying out to get their lap back. They couldn't wave around, and now they're all pitting. And now there goes Greg Biffle looking to the inside for third. Maybe they're getting black flags with the restart. Maybe something's going on because the 18 just got DQ'd. That is not what you're looking for right there if you're Joe Gibbs. I mean, yeah, one of your cars is leading and the other one's sitting 5th right here. The rookie, Coy Gibbs, running really, really well. There's Matt Kenseth rotating around the bottom. Yeah, Bobby Labonte. Maybe he's saying, you know, it was unclear of what they were supposed to do. NASCAR has DQ'd him. They have stopped scoring the 18 car, but he's still out here running laps. Now he's getting called into the pits, and I'm sure that'll be a call to the hauler as well. But Bobby Labonte is not happy with NASCAR. I'm not sure if they tried protesting and maybe they didn't win. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see here. Jimmy Johnson is a skosh quicker than Burton. I mean, they're pretty much running the same lap time, so we're coming to 25 to go here. Tony Stewart is quicker than Burton at the moment. But I mean, Jimmy Johnson right here, if Burton can let him go, let Johnson catch Stewart, then can Stewart, I wonder, get held up by Johnson? I think Tony Stewart, I mean, unless the 99 car, maybe they I'm sure they worked on the car, tried changing the setup a little bit to help that longer run. I mean, not much of a long run. We've already under 25 laps to go. He's gonna miss the bottom. Yellow flag is out. Brian Vickers, that rear end is pretty smashed. There goes Tony Stewart. He's gonna make sure he leads the line. Let's go see what happened to Brian Vickers. Ooh. Kurt Busch running 8th. Looks like he just kind of got impatient with the 25. Alrighty. Oh, Ryan Newman. Was he not anticipating the checkup? That might be a missing hood. Ooh. Yeah, that'll happen. He's going to go ahead and pit. Tony Stewart from the lead is pitting. I mean, there's only a couple cars on the lead lap, but man, that's huge. That's going to put Jeff Burton back in the lead. Alright, we will see when we go back green here, probably with less than 20 to go. Alrighty, a pace car is going to make that left-hand turn. We got Jeff Burton leading, and Tony Stewart pitted. He's sitting 6th. I believe he was running like a 5, so I don't think the pace was that slow. Maybe a couple tenths, but meanwhile, green flag is back out. Jeff Burton leads. Jimmy Johnson. Dale Jr. is going to get to the inside, trying to get one of his laps back. And he does just that. We know Jr. is a pretty aggressive racer. Now Jeff Burton right there. Sadler, Biffle, or Coy Gibbs running 4th. Tony Stewart's going to throw it up the inside, looking for 5th on Carl Edwards. Sadler, I think, needs to get down, get to the inside of the 99. Are we going to have Yates versus Roush? Sadler's been very consistent all race. Ooh, Jeff Burton's looking to the outside of Junior. I'm not sure if he's too happy with what Junior did on the restart, taking him 3 wide. But Burton's able to clear Sadler for now, but he's still on the outside of the Junior. I think he just needs to lift and give it up, because he might lose the race here, because if Sadler can get to the inside, getting into 3, it's going to be tight. Yeah, Burton's still maybe trying to prove a point or something to the outside of Junior, but Sadler just can't get there. Now Jeff Burton's going to throw it up the inside. He may have nudged Junior out of the way. Sadler is overdriving the corner and missed the corner. Now here comes those fresh tires. Tony Stewart looking to the inside, going for 4th on Coy Gibbs. Casey Mears, Ricky Rudd. It's Kurt Busch now. He's complaining something's leaking on the 97. He's going to pull it into the pit. Battle for 4th, give it to Stewart. Now Jeff Burton overdrove the corner. Sadler's going to look to the inside. Can't get the exit. Yeah, that incident right there with Kurt Busch is going to hurt him in the points. I believe he was 3rd coming into today. Could be wrong. These runs are running 24 flats. I think right here, if Stewart can get around Casey Mears this time by, I think he will be a force to be reckoned with here in these closing laps. He's going to get to the inside of Casey Mears. Coy Gibbs is looking to follow. We'll have to see what those fresh tires can do for Tony Stewart. I mean, don't rule out Elliott Sadler. He's keeping Burton honest, and if one of those two slip up, Greg Biffle's right there. We got 3 Fords and a couple Chevrolets. Biffle's all over the back end of Sadler. I believe he's tired of seeing that green M&M. 11 to go. Casey Atwood's not letting Tony Stewart pass easily. Stewart's just trying to get around the bottom, trying to clear him. Biffle may be thinking about trying to give the bumper to the 38. Burton didn't have an exactly great corner. 10 to go. Yellow flag is out. Now the 25's in the pit with more damage to that 25. We're going to have a restart. So the 77 should get the wave around here. Let's go see what happened to Vickers. Alright, so he's going off on a turn 1. Following Michael Waltrip, running 18th. Goes to accelerate. Goes to the inside of Michael Waltrip. Goes to accelerate, going off turn 4. Whoa! Ooh, yeah, that motor went kaboom and oil got on the rear tires and he nearly spun out. I was able to get it down and out of the way. Alrighty, I believe pit road was open there. I don't think anybody went. Correct. See if anybody comes this time by. Alright, nobody in the top 5 is pitting. So we'll go ahead and wave Casey Mears down the front stretch. Yeah, we're going to get a restart here with about probably 4 laps to go, I would say. Well, that's Casey Atwood, not Casey Mears. Casey Mears blew up earlier. Now Casey Atwood's back in the lead lap. But, yeah, we'll see you when we go back green here. Alright, cleanup is done. Cleanup is over. Pace car is making that left-hand veer off into pit road. We got the top 5 all clear. Jeff Burton, Elliott Sadler, Greg Biffle, Tony Stewart, Coy Gibbs, they're going to accelerate off turn 4. Jeff Burton's got the green and we are back under racing. 5 laps to go from Martinsville. Biffle's going to make a dive to the inside of Sadler. Tony Stewart kind of missed the bottom too. He's looking to hold off his rookie teammate Coy Gibbs. Biffle wants to clear Sadler here, make Roush 1-2. Can't quite get it to bite off the corner. That's going to give a big advantage to Burton as he will lead. Tony Stewart kind of misses the bottom. Coy Gibbs is going to look up the inside. They're going to be side by side for 2nd and 4th. As Burton's going to drive away. Greg Biffle can't complete the pass. Sadler is able to defend. Coy Gibbs, Stewart was able to defend. Coy Gibbs couldn't complete the pass. 2.5 laps to go. Right, you just gotta wrap the bottom. Hit your braking point, wrap the bottom. Hit the throttle, not too much. 2 to go. What can Sadler do to try and get around Jeff Burton? Sadler was about a 10th quicker that last time by. I don't know if he'll have enough time. This time by will be the white flag. White flag is out. Final time. Jeff Burton did win the spring Martinsville race, I do believe, last season. Tony Stewart pitting. Looks like that was not the move. That was not the call. Matt Kenseth's in the pits. Through 3 and 4, one final time. All Jeff Burton has to do is now accelerate. And it looks like Sadler's going to get 2nd. Biffle 3rd. Coy Gibbs will round out your top 5. Carl Edwards there 6th. 7th will go to Ryan Newman without a hood. You see everybody else there. But congratulations to Jeff Burton and team. He was able to win here at the paperclip. Alrighty, we have the points post Martinsville. Jeff Burton with 2 wins, only 4 points behind Jimmy Johnson. Kurt Busch still 3rd. Mark Martin, Carl Edwards. Vickers has fallen 4 spots, negative 27. But yeah, these are the updated points. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you next week for Richmond. Congratulations to Jeff Burton and team, and thank you for watching. You guys have a great day.